Give you guys a few seconds to come in. If you're watching the replay, you might want to skip to about 5 minutes. We'll let everybody come in. Let's see. Mic check, mic check. All right, so the audio is just fine. Oh man. Mm. I don't know how you guys are doing. If you're watching on the replay, I don't know how you guys are doing today on this Saturday, but hopefully you guys are doing good. Today we're gonna have a real talk about the stuff that men deal with. This is gonna be a very real conversation because it's a lot of stuff that us men hold in that we need to tell the world about. Absolutely. Yeah, I would have came in a little bit earlier, guys, but of course, work is sporadic. So I'm a little like an hour or two behind. But yeah, man, we got to talk about the stuff that we deal with as men on a day-to-day basis that nobody knows that nobody, all the stuff that we hold in that the average person has no clue about. We hold in a lot of stuff. Being a man is lonely business. All the stuff we have to deal with, the hero's journey, you're going to go through all of that stuff by yourself. The people, the fans, the crowd, they show up after you've been through all of that. They weren't there shooting at you in the gym, 3 a.m. in the morning, trying to figure it out, staying up late at night because you can't sleep. All that stuff comes later. So initially, as a man, you're gonna be by yourself the majority of the time, especially while you're trying to come up, trying to find your way in this world. People underestimate how hard it is being a man. And it's funny to me because women in today's society, they envy men. But if they actually knew what we go through and deal with on a consistent basis, I promise you, these women wouldn't want to be a man. If they actually knew what it took to make $1 million, if they actually knew what it took to get a decent paying job, if they actually knew what it took just to survive and execute on a day-to-day basis. Us men, we deal with so much stuff. Guys, we got to talk about the physical pain that we go through, the emotional pain that we deal with, the mental strain that we deal with, and how if you have all three of those at the same time, you might be trying to get yourself up out of here. This is a serious talk about the shit that we deal with as men. And what inspired this live stream is the stuff that I'm dealing with right now. And I know a lot of you guys watching this, either watching it right now or on the replay, or some of you guys gonna come in and out the live stream. I know YouTube is a little bit late or early on the numbers, give or take. But I know a lot of you guys deal with all this stuff I'm about to talk about in this video. I know for a fact. And you can't say anything about it. You know why you can't say anything about it? Because the world doesn't care. Other men don't care. If you complain to your woman, she thinks you're weak. She expects you to be a robot, an automaton. Women say they want the truth and all that. Nah, they want it in doses. They want it sometimes. They want the truth that they want to hear. But the shit that we have to deal with on a consistent basis, daily, would drive them insane. This is how hard it is to be a man. This is how hard it is. What's going on, LL? Shout out to you. Glad you got to make it on this live stream. We got to talk about this real shit today. It's real stuff today. Well, I appreciate it, man. I need to like schedule a time and like schedule the live stream so you guys know when to look for me. So like I'm not just sporadically popping up. Man, I'm tired of shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm tired of shit, bro. And that's one of the things we gotta talk about in today's video. All the stuff that we deal with as men that we don't talk about, we don't speak about, we keep and suppress inside because we know the outside world does not care. This is going to be an insightful live stream for all you guys wondering what the inside thoughts of what we're actually thinking. It's going to be entirely awesome. So yeah, LF, I've been doing good, man. How you been doing, man? Hopefully you're not tired and exhausted like I am, and I still got other stuff to do. Freaking I ain't see. I'm not even gonna talk about it because I don't even want to sound like a complainer. And that's the other thing that we have to deal with as men. We don't talk because we don't want to seem like complainers. But is it really complaining or is it just the truth? I don't know. I don't know. Either way, you're gonna keep it to yourself. You can share how you feel as a man. Well, with good people, good loyal friends around, you can say exactly how you feel and it won't be taken out of context. But if you're with strangers, if you're with your woman, there's certain stuff you can't say. There's certain stuff you cannot say. Absolutely. Um, a lot of people, when you look up to men, a lot of people fantasize men. This is what I mean. When they look up to you, they see some kind of wildebeest, strong man that don't feel anything, always stoic. And that's just not the reality. We just know and been trained through years of consistent heartbreak, consistent disappointment, just to bottle that stuff in, dealing with the real realities of how this world works and how no one cares. Yeah, you become stoic out of necessity. Yeah, I always keep my feelings inside. Not gonna lie, I don't share with people. And when you're with strangers, you probably shouldn't share with people because you don't trust them, and they could use that information against you. You know, if you're at work, I wouldn't really say too much of what you do outside of work, um, because people can use that stuff against you at work and get you fired or demoted. If I share them community beside me, it's so negative and will put that I'm crazy and just have to be normal. Yeah, that's that gaslighting stuff, and like that's what makes men close off. That's what makes us men close off. When you don't respect our feelings, when you don't respect that what I'm telling you is real stuff that I'm actually dealing with, and you don't respect it or try to fix it or try to help me or look, you know, at least empathetic, that make a man shut down completely. Like that make you shut down completely. Yeah, even mine. Yeah, even mine. You're not alone, LF. We all go through that. We all go through that, bro. Family, close people to you. Why do you think men on YouTube and men in the older men, this is the advice they give you? They give you this advice. They always say get comfortable being alone. My mentor played in the MLB and he knows Barry Bonds really well. And I remember my mentor was going through something and he went to Barry Bonds. He was telling me the story of what Barry Bonds told him. And he's like, hey, Barry, I'm going through this and that. Like, what's going on? Why am I going through so much jealousy and envy to people? He's like, why can't I find any real friends? And Barry looked at him. He said, if you want a friend, Chuck, get a dog. Get a dog. Why do you think men, when they get to a particular age, or they just want to be left alone, they be by themselves and or with a dog? Because they can't. That's the way of coping with this cruel world. That's our way of coping with the shit because all the stuff we have to deal with and bottle in and can't talk about because people will look at us a certain way is astounding. I've been thinking about moving out of my parents' home in this neighborhood I live in. I think I would take the sacrifice to live by myself. Yeah, just make sure it makes sense. Just make sure you have the financial means. But yeah, I would most definitely get out of the house. And if you got to fail and come back, that's a beautiful thing. You can always fail, leave, and if you fail, you can always just come right back to your parents' house. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Unless you live like hours away or something. But The things that men are desperate to say but won't say, the things we are quiet about, we suppress. This is how hard it is being a man. This is how hard it is being a man. I don't know if you guys have heard about that story about that um, woman that tried to be a man for like a year. This is how hard it is to be a man. So this woman thought she was gonna, I think she was a lesbian, and so she decided, hey, I'm gonna be a man for a year. This is how hard it is to be a man. After that year, guys, you know what she did? Do you know what she did after that year of being a man? Dealing with all the rejection, the heartache, the heartbreak, the strain, the turmoil that we deal with on a consistent basis. You know what she did? She deleted herself. Nope. She unalived herself. That's how bad it was for a woman. So that's what I was talking about earlier. I'm like, why are these women so penis envy? It don't make any sense. You guys act like the reason why we want multiple women at the end of the finish line is because we work so hard. All the sacrifices, the blood, the sweat, the tears. Like it's going to take blood, sweat, and tears to get where you need to get, guys. That's not an exaggeration. So much negativity in this neighborhood and so much wrong advice and lifestyle. Everybody here live. I'm different. Yeah, get out of there. Environment is everything. Life is everything. Responsibility. Yeah, yeah. A woman, see, we take the brunt of all the stuff that women, you know why most women don't have to deal with the harshness of life? It's because we deal with it for them. Hey, what's going on, Dark Wing? Dark Night Wing. Yeah, I've noticed. I've been waiting for you to get on the live stream, Dark Night Wing, so I can make you a moderator, man. You've been watching for a long time. You've been watching for a long time, man. So I gotta reward you with being a moderator. You've been loyal for a long time, commenting on my videos and liking my videos. So I appreciate your support, Dark Night Wing. You and LF, I highly appreciate it. Yep, yeah, you've been around for a long time then, or since the beginning because yeah, it wasn't organized too. And you remember that poll I had where I almost changed it again. So yeah, you've been around for a long. You've been watching from the clouds. I feel you. Sometimes it get like that. I be watching a lot of people from the clouds too. But nah, man, I've been waiting for you to get on the live stream. It's a couple other people waiting to get on the live stream too, so I can give them some wrenches. They've been loyal and commenting for a long time as well. So you've been loyal. You got to get rewarded for being loyal, right? But back to this real shit. Back to this real shit. Say, keep it up, man. The world can be cruel. It's not only you. I know it's not only me. That's why I talk about the stuff that we can all talk about as men. I was on a bus one time. I heard a woman said to some silly kids that she was yelling and trolling. And she said to them, y'all gotta focus because you're a man. You gotta buy a house and get married. Facts. What's that saying in The Godfather? Um, Women and children can be careless, but men cannot. That's the brunt of relation. That's the brunt of leadership. Everybody is striving to be a leader. You don't know what being a leader means. All the accountability you have to take, all the long days you have to work, all the extra effort, the extra thinking you have to do. Hell yeah. People talk about these CEOs, these CEOs and these owners, they make too much money. Do you know they're actually in the game? You're not in the game. You're an employee. You got, you know, if you just show up to work that day and do your job, you get paid. Them, if they mess up with their decisions, they lose the company. and they can't afford to pay you. They have to let you go. So the more risk and more skin in the game you have, you definitely should get more of the risk. So I mean, more of the awards. My bad. That's how you know I'm tired. I'm slurring my words. But let's talk about some of the stuff that men deal with on a consistent basis that we don't talk about and we keep to ourselves. Excuse me. And that's why, before I get into that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, like the video. I can stay here all day. This is real content. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate that because it's a lot of good channels out there, but you guys took the time out to watch me. That means a lot, man. And there's a lot of good content creators out there that are capable of talking that real stuff as well too. So I appreciate you guys supporting me and talking and being here on this live stream with me. I'm highly grateful for it. So let's talk about the physical pain. I appreciate it, LL. Let's talk about the physical pain that we deal with on a consistent basis as men that we don't talk about. Believe me, I know the Manosphere content, but you stand out. Ah, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Real talk, I appreciate it. You know, I just be talking, man, inventing my thoughts. This is how this whole channel started. I just be talking and venting my thoughts, man. I got ghosts in here. My freaking door coming to loose. What's going on? I got ghosts in here. Ghosts trying to stop the live stream, y'all. They trying to stop this real shit from getting spilled. Nah, I just forgot to lock the door in the wind. It's raining all kinds of shit over here. He trying to bust in the door, man. But nah, back to this live stream. Let's talk about the physical pain that we deal with on a consistent basis that we suppress and keep to ourselves. I don't know what kind of jobs you guys work. I don't know what kind of workouts or whatnot you guys do. But every man that has worked knows exactly what I mean when I say this. You'll be injured. Normally, it's either your back, your shoulder, maybe your neck sometimes, but normally it's your back, your shoulder, your knees, or your foot. You be flat out hurt, injured, should be at home resting, but you got bills to pay, so you get your injured ass up and go to work, and you don't tell nobody, and you be in excruciating pain, dude. I was at work this morning. Dude at work had a lung collapse on him. He in the hospital. The doctor said, "Hey, bro, if he wouldn't have made it that day, that morning to the hospital, he would have passed away at work." Familiar, it was a way of coping and survival. Damn, that's brutal. Yes, bro. Dudes be going through it. I know dudes that had pool groins. Still, I don't know if you guys know how to, like, I was a truck driver, so I was pushing some heavy stuff on the pallet jack. Guys, if your groin hurts, you can't really pull or push anything because you need your legs to be stable. And so that groin plays a huge part. Dude would keep going to work on a pulled groin. People wondering why he's so slow, why he going through this, why he always walking so in pain. Pulled groin, pulled groin. But if he says that, people gonna think he's full of shit. People gonna think he's lying. How many times? Because sometimes dudes be lying. Sometimes you be really tired or you really be injured and People are so used to dudes lying that they don't ever take your actual legitimate stuff seriously. It can become a routine because if you're used to it without being self-aware. Exactly. And that's the problem. That's how your grandfather and your father, they have shoulder issues, their arms are in a sling, their backs messed up. They walking around with their back looking like this. They walking around town with their back looking like this. It's because they've normalized the pain as it is what it is and not getting any legitimate therapy. When I say therapy, I'm not talking about physical therapy to correct your posture, to recover, to ice, to put your legs up. See, it all makes sense now. Remember, Grandpa used to say he used to always want his foot massaged. He always want to put his foot up. He's in physical pain. Normally because he got bad footwear. Well, I don't want to take the sacrifice to leave my parents home life as hard as man. I'm my parent. Hey, bro, but this is bravery. You're a man too. You're brave. You gotta be brave. Yes, bro. So like, dudes be going through it, bro. Legit be hurt, limping, homie. I don't know what happened. I was running Monday. I don't know. I was sprinting Monday, and I don't know. Make sure you guys warm up, because if you don't warm up and you try to sprint, you're gonna injure yourself. But like, I don't know what's going on, but like my right Achilles is like sore as hell. It's like tendonitis in it, bro. And like Monday, I was like, okay, something feel a little off. Tuesday, I get up, bruh. I can barely put weight on this shit. I'm like, did I just rupture my Achilles? Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. I just ruptured this fucking Achilles. I didn't rupture it, of course, right? I'd be in the, I'd be laid up like this, stretched out, doing this live stream. But that pain, that pain, I can walk on it now. Like that pain and having to go to work and still do that and function at work, people don't understand that execution. This is why execution is so hard. It's easy to say, well, you just do this for the next 90 days and you'll be okay. What makes that shit so hard is you have so many outside influences trying to get that or try to stop you. And one of them is physical pain. You're gonna bump your head, you're gonna slip and fall, you're gonna be working out and get injured, and you still have to get up and go to work the next day and make it. Because if you, depending on what job you make or what job you have, if you go to the doctor and you say you're injured, they'll sit you for 3 months or they'll let you go. So you really can't say anything to the job that you're really injured because you lose your job, especially if you guys are doing manual labor. This is the shit that nobody wants to talk about when it comes to men and the stuff that we deal with on a consistent basis, bro. The world is cruel and ruthless and mean to men. That's what that whole saying was about. Just walk it off. Me this whole week just walking it off on me. And that's why when you guys are in physical pain, take your ass, go to sleep. That's the best way to recover. I'll give you guys some game. If you want to recover fast, sleep a lot, eat protein, ice every time, every chance you get. If it's a muscle that you're feeling um, hurt in, put your feet up, lay down. If you're sick, get some nutrition inside you. Go get you some fruit to fight that and help your immune system fight it off. Like, homie, you have to be self-proficient. Just like life is a jungle, and if something comes along, you're by yourself in the jungle. You have to put yourself together, patch yourself up. Get mental health tiredness too. Think about the mental and the women nowadays saying that they're taking care of the mental. Exactly. Exactly. See, if you're a strong man, you don't want to go get no work. Why? Because you think you can work through it. And you be legitimately needing to work. Mental, uh, therapy, physical therapy, mental health. You actually need to go to the doctor, but you're not gonna go to the doctor because you don't think it's a big deal. That's another thing that we have to adjust a little bit as a men. You can be too tough, and then now you have cancer, and you could have got a checkup and caught the cancer early. You could just did some blood work and found out where you were deficient at, but now you're dehydrated, and now you're in the hospital. So we do take the toughness a little bit too far sometimes, but this is the only way to get through it, guys. Yeah, exactly. We always get through it. But that's the thing that I want to tell you guys on this live stream. If you're a man, don't ever think, especially if you're trying to do something in this world, don't think you're going to go through life without some turbulence. Don't think you're going to go through life squeaky clean because you're not. There's days where you're going to go to work and you're going to be sick as hell, sick as a dog. But you know, just like every other man knows, which is why we don't talk about our sickness or our physical pain, because we know if we miss work that day, we miss out on some money. And if you miss out on some money, that means you're gonna lose your house, gonna lose your car, gonna lose your girl. That's the harsh truth about being a man that nobody wants to talk about. No food on the table, you're gonna starve. So you're gonna have to be a tough son of SOB to make it in this world, homie, and be around good people to where you can vent this stuff to, and you guys can have some emotional support. And sometimes depending on if your girl's a good woman, there's some stuff you can tell her, but there's some stuff she just won't understand. She's a woman, she don't understand. If she's sick, if she's injured, she literally sits out. And everybody's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah." If you have a legitimate knee problem in your meniscus, you have a strained meniscus, you could have a legitimate problem and dudes would be like, "Oh, that's nothing." But a woman, "Oh, sit out for sure. Oh, sit out for sure. No big deal. No big deal." Yeah, after you've been burned a couple times, no man likes to share his emotions with women. Um, and you really shouldn't, to be honest with you. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't. You should be stoic all the time too. If she makes you mad, or if she does something that's actually good for your life, then commend her for it. But yeah, if you stating your emotions every 5 seconds, that's not gonna work in your favor. Um, that's just the physical pain, guys. We ain't even got to the mental pain. I mean the emotional pain. The emotional pain is something else that we deal with. Yep, yep, it's crazy. And I might do a reaction to that video, 40-year-old man. I don't know if I did. I don't, see, I'm so tired right now. I can't even remember right now. Let's get into this emotional pain, man, because I can only got like 40, 45 minutes in me, guys. Real talk. I don't know how I'm like burnt. I'm like running on fumes right now, to be honest. Anyway, emotional pain. We already talked about physical pain. What about emotional pain? Emotional pain is an interesting one because this is really how you destroy a man. And this is how women destroy men emotionally. The emotional, mental gymnastics, the mental, emotional games, the gaslighting, all this stuff is how they get over and take over men. But let's talk about for a second the emotional pain that we deal with on a consistent basis, just being men. You having to function each and every day, and your girl could have just cheated on you and left you, or Somebody in your family could have passed away, or maybe you're in war and one of your friends just got deleted in war. Yeah, I will. I will, LF. I'll schedule the streams for you guys to know because yeah, if I just randomly stream, nobody's gonna know. So I'm at least try to give you guys like a 30 to an hour reminder or like preview. Because today I was just so tired. I came in from work and I just went straight to do the live stream. Looked at some stuff, straight to do the live stream. All this is majority off the cuff, but emotional pain, emotional pain. Think about all the stuff that you have to suppress as a man, all of the anger that you have to suppress, dealing with the people around you, dealing with family, friends, strangers, being in traffic, managing your emotions, having control of your emotions, understanding your emotions and what you're actually going through, why you're feeling what you're feeling. You know, we always talk about intelligence, IQ, but we don't talk about EQ, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one of the biggest things that you could ever have. Being a black sheep, I experienced that too. I don't like being labeling me like, don't label me at all. Don't put me in a box at all. But people will try to put you in a box, guys, and people will put their limitations on you. And really, they're just projecting their own limitations onto you. The emotional pain, the suppression. I know I'm not the only one when I say this, that you have to suppress some of your violent thoughts, some of your angering thoughts directed at people. Guys, I remember it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I live in a big city. And you guys know like at a how you stop at a light and you know it's like those little three lines, those three white lines for people to walk in front of, to cross the rock to go across the street. I had stopped like a foot or two ahead of that. And so, which is what you're supposed to do. This other truck literally saw that little bit of space as room. He cut in front of me and backed up just so he can go in front and when the light turned green. Guys, do you know how angry I was at that, but that I had to suppress that because crashing out over that wasn't worth it? That's emotional intelligence and actual intelligence because somebody with no emotional intelligence would have crashed out right there. I don't drive, but that shit damn. But that shit damn, man. Bruh, being in the city, you're gonna see some of the most stupid driving habits you've ever fucking seen. It's disgusting, homie. Like if you're on a highway in a big city, you're in legitimate trouble. And I'm not saying that just because to be funny or like that. You're in legitimate trouble, homie, because I've seen people, they'll have a grill in the back of their car, in the back of their truck, and that shit'll just fall out because it's not fully strapped correctly. That shit'll fall out in the middle of the highway. And if you're right behind that person, how the hell sometimes you can't get out of um, get out in time, so you're gonna get a wreck Gonna wreck because of a grill. Don't even get me started on rain driving. People celeb events or celebrations, bruh. I think seriously, people need to we need to have like a if the DMV wasn't so shitty, I would recommend like people to like retest on their driving skills. I don't know what towns you're in, Dark Nightwing, but um, the towns that I'm from, bro, like it's more respect. But the city is god awful. Yeah, exactly. But some people don't give a damn about that. They will use you and abuse you. They take that kindness for weakness, that respect as weakness, bro. Oh, you're from Europe. Oh, y'all are different. Y'all are different. I'm talking about the United States of America. I think LF is from LF. You say you were from New Zealand, right? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? If I'm tripping, then I need to go get off this live stream and go to sleep. But I could have swore I seen that the last weekend. Am I tripping, LL? Let's see. We talked about physical pain, emotional pain. Don't even get me started on the mental strain. The mental strain of dealing with life. Oh yeah, I know. I've heard. I gotta get out there to Europe, man. I gotta get out there, man. To Europe. I gotta travel the world. I gotta get out there to Europe, man, eventually. Mental strain, because I'm running on fumes right now. I ain't got too much longer, guys. I'm barely holding on to get these talking points out for you guys. Mental strain. We talked about the physical pain that we go through as men, the emotional pain that we deal with as men, all the things we have to suppress in order to function so we don't either get ourselves into big trouble or create a situation out of nothing. So, mental strain. Sometimes you're going balls to the wall. The American dream. Ah, oh, bro, it's been dead for a while. It's been dead for a while, man. It's been dead for a while. Let me bring this. Let me excuse me. Let me land this plane. So, mental strain. You ever been looking for answers, trying to find out what's really wrong, trying to correct the situation, trying to find a job, and you're looking for the answers. You're putting in maximum effort, but you can't find it. That leads you to stressing out. That leads you to staying up at night. That leads you to making irrational decisions. These are the things that we deal with as men, trying to stay up at night, trying to figure out how you're going to pay the bill because you know your savings is running out. Trying to come up and find something, another job, just finding another job by itself. In this today's economy, you lose your job is stressful in itself. Stress, we have to be wary of how much we stress though, even though the stresses of life are a real thing. If we're not too careful, stress will literally kill us by itself because this is why it's very important for us to correct our environment, correct and change our environment. But like I said, that's what makes life so hard. You'll be looking and finding, trying to find the answers, trying to fix the issue, and can't. And that's extremely frustrating. And that's where your emotional intelligence is going to have to come in, because if you don't have control of those frustrated moments, you'll lash out on people that actually care about you. You'll lash out on your boss and get fired. And now, what are you going to do? Now you got to find another job because you couldn't control that anger. You couldn't control that. So it's one thing to have physical pain. It's one thing to have just emotional pain that you're dealing with. It's one thing just to have mental strain, and that's probably the worst strain, your mental strain, your stress, emotional state. But guys, if you have all three, physical pain, emotional pain, mental strain, that's how guys delete themselves. That's how guys become addicts because they can't cope with life. Life has gotten over on them in their mind. They can't quite fix their situation. They feel trapped. They feel hopeless. And feeling hopeless is one mindset you want to always avoid. You need to always have faith in something. But these are the things that we deal with as men that no one wants to say, or nobody wants to talk about, or that we don't talk about because we know that no one cares. We know that it's going to fall on deaf ears. They'll hear you, but they're not listening. And just that disappointment alone makes you want to close off. And now you're closed off to everybody. And now you're actually alone dealing with all the things you have to deal with going through life as a man. I would talk about kids and all that and divorce and all that, but I haven't been through any of that. But I'll tell you what, I know dudes that just get out of bad breakups and they be stuck in that emotional pain for months, even years. They can't recover, homie. Like women will do stuff to you that sticks for a lifetime. Like a fight you got into when you were younger, or a little skirmish you got into. After that skirmish, you kind of just forget about it. But the stuff that women do to you, you never forget that. I guarantee you, any guy watching this live stream right now or on the replay, I guarantee you guys remember your first heartbreak. I guarantee you, you remember that empty feeling in your stomach when you found out, or you had that empty feeling in your stomach when your stomach dropped to the bottom of your stomach. Um, when you suspected that she was doing something nefarious. We can all point back to those moments because that pain sticks out. That's a special kind of pain. I appreciate it, Darkwing. I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, I just had to get this out. I had to vent this video for you guys because I've been thinking about this the whole week, dealing with the stuff that I'm dealing with. And I know you guys or other men are dealing with some of the same stuff, excuse me. And I just wanted to come on this live stream and say, hey, man, you're not alone. We all deal with this stuff. It's better for us to talk about this stuff amongst ourselves because we know the outside world don't give a damn about us. That pain is good when you understand it and teaches you about human nature. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it teaches you a lot about human nature. Just make sure you don't go to the nihilistic, the extreme. But I appreciate you, LF. I appreciate you, Dark Nightwing, for coming in here and watching the live. I appreciate you guys watching on the replay. You guys have a good Saturday, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.